Good afternoon. A man has been fatally shot in a residential area near Dundas and DuPont.
The victim was killed early this morning. CTV's Beth Macdonell is covering the story on Osler Street and joins us now live with more details. Beth.
Nathan, residents are telling us they woke up to the sound of gunshots around 5 in the morning, telling us they heard as many as 11 shots, one of which went through the window of this house just next to me. Take a look. It's the front window of the home. There are also evidence markers on the ground around the gas meter. This home is just steps away from a gathering of evidence markers where it appears the victim, a man, Toronto police say, where he was gunned down. This is a pocket of the junction near Davenport and Dundas. We are told the man who was killed is possibly in his 30s. We're also told the shooting was possibly targeted. Residents are feeling very nervous in the area, and they're also very scared. While some are saying they're not surprised this shooting happened, still everyone we spoke with is concerned.
Early this morning, just after 5 a.m., police received reports of sounds of gunshot in the area. Officers arrived on scene very quickly within minutes, as they're already close by, and located a person in the street. The officers located an adult male suffering from gunshot wounds and started providing life-saving measures. Our Toronto paramedic services also attended and assisted. However, despite all their best efforts, the male was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Maybe 10 or 11 gunshots. It was maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then silence. And then officers responded very quickly and didn't know what was going on. I just went back to sleep. Yeah, I got woken up.
For fourth time. Fourth time. I say, boom, 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 boom. Oh my God. Oh my God. For me, it's so terrible. You say, I know this is a son. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh no.
Police station, and we've been speaking to residents. They do hope to find out more about a possible suspect or suspects. So far, police have not provided us with any of that information. Reporting live, I'm Beth Macdonell. Natalie and Nathan, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Beth. Still to come on CTV News at noon, it has been a year and a half since ancient human remains were found in a Toronto neighborhood. More on the delicate debate over next steps just ahead.
And we have more news in a moment, but first, here's a live look at the city this afternoon. A beautiful looking afternoon, lots of sunshine, air quality is good, humidity is low. A great day to be outside to enjoy if you can, because things will change tomorrow. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Just a lovely day, Lindsay.
It really is, Nathan. This is crowd-pleasing weather. It is comfortable yet again, and we've got those sunny skies. So enjoy this, because you're right, a change is coming as early as tomorrow. It is 21 degrees right now at Pearson Airport. It's a little more humid today than it was yesterday. For example, it feels like 24. You might not notice a whole lot of a difference, but we will notice it more so into the day tomorrow. A southeast breeze today. It's lovely. It's refreshing. And once again, we are struggling to find much in the way of cloud cover out there. If anything, some fair weather clouds for today. Afternoon high, 25 degrees. Nice and comfortable. Normal temperature this time of year is about 27. We're going to see a core temperature around that for tomorrow. And then Thursday looks like the hottest day of the week. We'll show you what it's going to feel like coming up. But for now, Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. The city's outlined its next steps following the discovery of ancient human remains during a construction excavation more than a year and a half ago.
But the plan moving forward has been met with opposition from at least one First Nations group. CTV's Scott Lightfoot explains.
For more than a year and a half, this water pipe upgrade site along Withrow Avenue has sat untouched.
I recognize that this has taken longer than we would have liked, but given the criticalness of the situation, we need to ensure we are doing this right.
The work site frozen in time, just like the human remains discovered here in January of last year. Those remains determined to be historical in nature, the area a known settlement site of several First Nations groups.
Archaeological evidence shows that we have 600 generations of settlement.
Following provincial protocols, work on the site was immediately halted. 11 First Nations groups were notified. 10 of those groups have consented to a burial site investigation. But representatives of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy have not.
The group of individuals calling themselves HDI, the Haudenosaunee Development Institute, have no rights here. These are not their lands. They have no treaty here, and they have no ancestral connection here.
That's not the case, say representatives of the Haudenosaunee who alerted the media that the found remains have been kept in a city truck since they were found more than 18 months ago.
Our rights should include, and do include, in fact, the right to make sure that our ancestors don't end up in a dump truck for over a year.
At this point, it's not known how many people are buried in the area. Archaeological officials say when work begins, they will dig in a grid pattern of 1 meter squares from the site out. So you don't investigate. Sorry,
Thank you so much. That's great. That was all the questions.
But officials shut down the press conference before answering questions about what would happen if the site expands to places like driveways, lawns, or the street. For those who live in the area, that is just one concern. Another is what could happen if work goes ahead without the consent of all 11 groups.
We don't know where the truck is, but certainly we know where the site is, and certainly we're capable of putting people on that site to exercise rights. And if those exercise of those rights interfere with the burial site investigation order, that's not our problem.
The city says preliminary planning work for the site is complete and site work is expected to begin shortly, even without the consent of that 11th group. However, the HDI says they have emails from the archaeological firm saying they will not begin without all-party consent. Meanwhile, the cost of providing 24-hour private security to ensure no one disturbs the site is approaching the $400,000 mark. Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
To Peel Region now, where police have just announced the results of an investigation.
A series of arrests linked to home invasions and jewelry store robberies across the GTA. CTV Sean Leathong is in Peel Region this afternoon and joins us live with the latest. Sean.
Well, Natalie and Nathan, police were discussing the results of Project Night Train, resulting in 12 arrests with one person outstanding, $2 million in goods that had been stolen, of about half of which has been recovered, and 136 charges. Now, what was particularly strange about this press conference today is how police described that two criminal networks they described very loosely based were doing particularly violent home invasions and smash and grab jewelry store robberies. Now, many of the arrests happening in recent times, but they described how at some points people would come into a person's home and act quite violently towards the people inside in order to get what they want. They talked about people being shot, people being beaten unconscious before stealing a car or jewelries, not to mention the smash and grabs as well. Beyond that, they talked about the number of people that have been arrested. Of the 12, 6 were young people who cannot be identified from Peel Region and Toronto. Now, here's Deputy Chief Pete Milinovich talking about how violent these acts just were.
Those 17 incidents represent over 60 victims and people that experienced that terror, inclusive of 9 children. Several of those incidents left people with life-altering and traumatic experiences that they will carry for the rest of their lives. One of them occurred and a man was shot in his chest. Another had a victim beaten unconscious in front of his family and then driven over with a car.
One of the questions focused on bail and who was out on bail at the time. Peel Police confirming that 4 of the arrested parties were actually out on bail when they were arrested. Again, reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Natalie, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. To the ballpark next, and it was a history-making game last night for the Toronto Blue Jays, who set a new franchise record with their 11th straight home win, taking down their division rival New York Yankees.
And this is hooked to left field, and it's into the corner. Springer is in to score. Guerrero is getting the wave. And he'll come into a 2-run double for Bichette to give the Blue Jays the lead.
The Jays broke things open in the 5th inning, scoring 4 runs, beating the New York Yankees 4-1. They also had the lead at the top of the AL East, gaining another full game on the Yankees. The Jays are now 4 games ahead of New York.
Canada's premiers are meeting on day 2 in high-stakes discussions about tariffs and trade.
The meetings got underway yesterday in Muskoka. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the latest from Huntsville.
Premiers rolled into this Muskoka resort for their annual Summer Council of the Federation meeting. The get-together comes at a critical time.
Right now, our economy in all Canada suffers because of the uncertainty.
Canada is facing intensifying U.S. tariff pressure and a looming deadline to reach a new trade deal.
We need to be at the table, and we need to work through what is a very erratic stance coming from the President of the United States.
And premiers have come to cottage country looking for new ways to drive prosperity on this side of the border.
We have to diversify our trade.
And to do that, Canada needs to build.
We have to start building pipelines out west, east, north, and south. We have to unleash Canada, unleash Canadian industry, resources.
So premiers met with Indigenous leaders to talk about moving major new nation-building potential pipeline or mineral extraction projects forward. But their push to find a way to get to a yes faster, while still ensuring First Nations leaders are consulted, was met with some pushback.
They're pretty much set in their ways, and somehow we're supposed to believe them that things will be okay. And we're saying, no, we don't believe it.
It's always tough conversations, but it's so important that, that we find a different way in this country.
Where they did agree is on the need for Indigenous involvement.
We know if we want to get projects done quickly, the projects have to have strong Indigenous partnerships.
I'm saddened that it got off on a wrong foot with the federal government, but I think that's the intention of everyone around that table.
And CTV's Rachel Aiello joins us now live from Huntsville, where the premiers are meeting for the second straight day with the Prime Minister today. Rachel, let's start with what kind of discussion we are expecting today, any outcomes that we may be expecting as well.
Yeah, so the Prime Minister was heading into that meeting first going to give the update to premiers on the state of talks. We heard him say on the way in clearly that there are continuous conversations going with his senior advisors, his senior cabinet ministers, as well as the Prime Minister himself, and really making it clear that Canada is looking for the best deal for this country and won't stop until they get it. Take a listen.
What we collectively can most control is building a stronger economy, moving from alliance to resilience and division to unity.
So clearly there, the Prime Minister is telling premiers that they still need to do this together. You know, he is leading on these negotiations south of the border, but the premiers are gathered here to do what they can to try to diversify markets back at home. So it's really a twofold conversation happening in that closed-door meeting today. What the Prime Minister is handling and then what premiers can do here in Canada as that talk continues to unfold.
Rachel, that Premier Ford had some tough talk before the meeting began. Is he setting the tone for the discussions here?
Yeah, it was really quite some vim and vigor. I do wonder what the conversation was like last evening because Premier Ford hosted all of the premiers and the Prime Minister at his nearby family cottage. So he came in today with quite a lot of energy, making it clear that he wants everyone to still stand behind the Prime Minister because, as he said, the U.S. President Donald Trump will say one thing to us and then get on Fox News the next day. But there was something else that he said that really struck me. Take a listen.
I've always said President Trump increases tariffs. This is my personal opinion. I don't speak on behalf of COF. We need to make sure we match tariff by tariff, dollar for dollar, and hit them back as hard as we possibly can. There's one thing President Trump understands, is strength. He doesn't understand or appreciate weakness. He will roll over us like a cement roller if you show an ounce of weakness with the president, in my opinion.
So hitting back dollar for dollar, really pushing that retaliatory tariff message. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few days because we've heard from some Western premiers who they don't support that approach. So this could be one of those places where there isn't unity around that table.
Okay. And Rachel, we know that Ontario, Saskatchewan and Alberta have just signed a deal. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so this morning before the Prime Minister's meeting kicked off, we had Ontario Premier Doug Ford, Saskatchewan's Premier Scott Moe, and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith sit down and sign what they're calling a memorandum of understanding, specifically try to prioritize should there be future pipeline development, which is obviously something that the Prime Minister is now pushing for alongside the premiers, that they want those pipelines to be built with Ontario steel. So this is kind of just the latest example of all of the provinces trying to get together and do what they can to break down barriers province to province. Here's a little bit more from Premier Ford on that presser today.
This is an amazing day for our province and for our entire country, because when Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan come together, we're not just signing a piece of paper, we're sending a clear message. Canada is ready to build. And we're going to get it done as one Team Canada. For too long, we've seen projects after project get tied up in red tape, regulation, delayed, blocked, and then canceled. But today, the world needs what Canada has. It's time to think big. It's time to bring our critical minerals, our oil, our natural gas and energy to new markets across the globe.
So this is really going to be the focus coming out of today's conversation. As we speak, the Prime Minister and Premiers are supposed to be wrapping up their closed-door talks. But then the Council of Federation conversation continues on through the afternoon and into tomorrow with a closing press conference on Wednesday, where we're expecting to hear what else the Premiers were able to come to the table and agree on.
Hey, CTV's Rachel Ayala with the latest from Huntsville. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now to New York State, where a Montreal father is being charged with murder after his daughter was found dead.
Luciano Fertolan had claimed his daughter was abducted. CTV's Jean-Vive Beauchemin has the latest on the investigation.
Luciano Fertolan appeared in court in New York State, charged in the murder of his young daughter, but also of concealing her remains. This after a massive search for the 9-year-old that ended yesterday with the discovery of Melina Fertolan's body in a shallow pond.
He fabricated the initial report of the abduction.
Police laid out what they say is the timeline of the young girl's last days. On July 11th, Melina and her father crossed legally into the United States for a planned vacation. They visited spots in Connecticut and traveled to New York City together. Police say that Melina's parents are estranged, that her mother in Montreal has custody.
She had no concerns for her daughter's safety while she was with him. She knew that he was taking her on this trip.
On July 19th, father and daughter were seen on surveillance video in Saratoga Springs, New York. An hour later, at about 6:30 p.m., Melina spoke to her mother by phone, telling her she was en route back home. At 10 p.m., New York police say a call comes in to 911.
The 9-year-old daughter was possibly abducted in a white van.
Authorities triggered an Amber Alert. The next day, law enforcement officers found a body. This an hour's drive from Lake George in a pond in Ticonderoga, New York. Fertolan is an entrepreneur who, according to a company website, holds Italian and Ethiopian citizenship and founded a coffee business. On that site, he describes his daughter as the light of his life and his inspiration. Federico Sanchez first met Fertolan at a Montreal coffee shop years ago. They chatted a few times over the years about life and family.
All I can tell you is that it would be a massive surprise to find out that he were guilty of such a thing.
The father will be back in court on Friday, and he has for now pleaded not guilty. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
The OPP is trying to identify 2 suspects after a rock was thrown from an overpass onto a vehicle on the 401 in Ajax. It happened around 11:30 a.m. Sunday at the Harwood Avenue overpass. OPP say a rock struck a vehicle traveling east and damaged its windshield. No injuries were reported, and police say the suspects are both male, with one having long curly red hair and last seen wearing a red shirt. The other was wearing a gray shirt.
It is quite concerning when you start seeing all these rock incidents happen, right? We had that big investigation in Aurora a couple months ago. Last couple of weeks, we've been seeing Niagara, St. Catharines area be hit with these rock throwing incidents. It's very concerning. It's very dangerous to the motorists on the road when they're driving along. They're not expecting rocks to hit their vehicle. They're paying attention to the roadway. They're not looking above. They can't see the rocks coming if they're big or large. All they know is when they're driving, they can just see, or feel the impact of that rock hitting the car.
OPP are asking anyone with information or dash cam footage to come forward.
2 women have been sent to hospital after being stabbed at a Mississauga apartment building yesterday. Peel police and paramedics responded to the building yesterday on Dixie Road, south of Burnham Thorpe, just after 5 p.m. Paramedics tell CTV News they took 2 women to hospital, one with serious injuries and one with minor injuries. The investigation is ongoing.
A new report out this morning says taxes are the biggest expense for Canadian families. The Fraser Institute report points out the average family in Canada spent about $48,000 in total taxes last year. The report also says Canadian families spent more on taxes than on housing, food, and clothing combined. It says taxes have grown faster than any other expense for an average Canadian family, going up by more than 2,700% since 1961. And CTV's Scott Hurst is following this story today with more details. Tell us about these ballooning numbers.
Yeah, good morning, Nathan. Just looking at this, some of these numbers are eye-popping. And of course, we all love to complain about how much we pay in taxes. And no doubt this report may add some fuel to that fire for a whole lot of Canadians. So here is the breakdown from the Fraser Institute on how much Canadians pay in taxes. The average Canadian family, according to the report, pays about 2% on clothing, 11% on food, 22% on housing, yet 42% on taxes. As you mentioned, more than on housing, food, and clothing combined. And so it's really telling how rapidly taxes have swelled compared to all other expenditures at a time, of course, when we often talk about the affordability crisis, cost of living top of mind for so many Canadians when they pay their bills, when they go to the grocery store and see how expensive food items are, when they pay their rent or their mortgage. More Canadians are being forced to make drastic cutbacks right now and make significant sacrifices, yet taxes are still the single largest household expenditure. And unlike luxury items or even just basic necessities that many Canadians are even being forced to skimp on, Nathan, you absolutely, of course, cannot miss out on taxes. And so this is the total tax bill, the way the Fraser Institute breaks it down. That includes income tax, payroll and health taxes, sales taxes, but also taxes on things like liquor, tobacco, fuel, and carbon taxes as well. So that's where we get this whole list of taxes as the total tax bill, according to Fraser Institute.
So we know we're paying all these taxes. Where do we go with this information? And does this pressure the government to take any action?
Well, ultimately, for those who are upset with how much they pay in taxes, where their taxes go, of course, they're hoping that politicians might be able to read this report. But the report points out that ultimately it's up to Canadians themselves to decide whether they feel like they get good value for the tax dollars that they do pay. So ultimately, it's a good gauge to know how much of your money, in fact, goes to taxes. Now, some of the specific reasons for this drastic increase include a sizable increase in incomes. Even with no changes in tax rates, a family's tax bill would still have increased substantially in the decades that have been placed in this report. But also the average family has faced a tax rate increase from about 33% in 1961 to more than 42% now in 2024, Nathan.
All right, CTV's Scott Hurst in the CTV National Newsroom. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
The White House has removed the Wall Street Journal from the press pool for the president's upcoming trip to Scotland.
That follows the newspaper's report detailing bombshell allegations on Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. CTV's Joey Malbin has the details.
The U.S. president should be celebrating his political wins. Instead, he's struggling to distract from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, posting phony AI pictures of Barack Obama being arrested, showing Democrats behind bars, and posting people doing, well, bizarre things. Anything it seems to change what's become a national obsession over the convicted sex offender who preyed on young women and his so-called client list.
Jeffrey Epstein was a friend of Donald Trump. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested during the Trump administration. And the Trump administration is running scared. What are they hiding from the American people? Release the files.
Trump ordered the Justice Department to request all grand jury testimony related to Epstein, pending a judge's approval and the impact on Epstein's victims.
The president has said if the Department of Justice and the FBI want to move forward with releasing any further credible evidence, they should do so. As to why they have or have not or will, you should ask the FBI about that.
The New York Times reported Trump might appear in the Epstein files after an accuser says she told the FBI twice about an encounter with Trump. The president also suing the Wall Street Journal for alleging Trump drew a hand-drawn naked woman in a birthday letter to Epstein in 2003. Trump denies it. One way to get to the bottom of it, says Epstein's former lawyer, call his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving prison time, to testify.
She is the Rosetta Stone. She knows everything. She arranged every single trip.
Some Republicans joined Democrats demanding the release of all the Epstein files, but the Speaker says there'll be no vote on that before lawmakers recess for the summer. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
The man accused of hijacking a small plane and causing a major security scare at the Vancouver airport last week is expected to appear in court today. Court records confirm Shahir Kasim also now faces a second charge, damaging or interfering with a navigation system on top of hijacking. The 39-year-old former commercial pilot allegedly seized a Cessna in Victoria, flew it over Vancouver's airport and landed before being arrested. Police say he had an ideological motive and had posted online claiming to be a messenger of Allah sent to save humanity from climate change. Both charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison.
Well, not only is it a very nice day today here in the GTA, but it's going to be a pleasant evening in the city. And there's a lot going on. Whether you're heading to one of the big concerts or maybe going to the Jays game, you can expect some nice conditions through the evening hours. Sunshine followed by clear skies after the sun sets. Temperature remaining in the 20s, and then eventually we fall to an overnight low of about 16. Enjoy the comfortable conditions because things change starting tomorrow. We're going to be in the upper 20s, and then by Thursday, our core temperature is in the 30s, feeling into the 40s. Is there relief in the long range? We'll take you through the 7-day forecast and talk about some possible active weather before the week is finished after this break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome back. Well, as summer days go, today is pretty perfect if you ask me weather-wise. You were throwing the ball around last night, Nathan?
Right. You know, this time of year, especially when you get sunlight after 7 o'clock, take advantage of it because before you know it, it's not there anymore, especially when the weather is good. So, yes.
And I don't want to be the one to say this, but the days are starting now to get a little bit shorter. So it's true. Enjoy the daylight while we have it in the evening hours. Sunset time tonight is going to be still about 10 minutes to 9. But yes, we are now seeing that sunset in the 8 p.m. hour. And yeah, it won't be long before that's happening in the 7 p.m. hour. And we've had very comfortable conditions for getting outside and throwing the ball around. You can enjoy your outdoor activities. For now, some heat and humidity is building back in starting tomorrow. We are really going to feel it on Thursday. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers, you don't pay unless they win. Yesterday was beautiful. Today is a bit of a repeat. We've got beautiful blue sky out there, low humidity still for the most part. Decent air quality, quite a change from last year. We've also been watching the weather story stateside because that's where we find a lot of the heat and humidity right now. It's been scorching along the Gulf Coast, in through parts of Florida, and now the U.S. Midwest tapping into some of that heat. We have an area of high pressure, and as it spins, we're going to see some of that Gulf moisture return to our neck of the woods here in southern Ontario. Starting tomorrow, really into the day Thursday, and then it's going to remain muggy heading into the weekend. Today, though, a fresh feel. It is 22 degrees, feels like 25, not too much of a difference. Essentially, what you see is what you get. Forecast high today, 25 degrees, feeling like 27, and of course, under a beautiful blue sky once again. Yesterday, we made it to 23, 24 degrees, depending on where you were. And I think many have just been enjoying the break. It's been a very hot summer, and this has been a welcome change. Worth mentioning that even though it's not overly hot out there today, the sun is still strong. We're at a 9 on the UV index for today, so don't forget your sun protection. Overnight tonight, we will be near normal, 16 for the low, clear skies. And then tomorrow, so we're going to start to feel this a little bit. 28 degrees for the high is going to feel like 33. And then into Thursday, it's going to start to feel into the 40s. All is calm, all is quiet currently on the satellite and radar. I mentioned that high pressure that's going to be dominant stateside across the U.S. Northeast and for us here in southern Ontario. It's essentially halting active weather in northern parts of Ontario from reaching us. That, however, is going to change as we make our way into the second half of this week. So there's tomorrow into Thursday morning, chance of a few showers, maybe even some isolated thunderstorms. It's going to be a very hot and muggy day, so a lot of instability. Certainly not an all-day event, but I'm keeping an eye on Friday for it to potentially become a little more unsettled. Plan on some showers, maybe some thunderstorms, not all day. We will also enjoy some sunny breaks. And then the weekend is looking drier at this point. Not as hot as Thursday. That's the day that it's going to feel like 43, but it is still going to feel like the mid and upper 30s right through to the early part of next week. That's the weather for now. Nathan, I'll send it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Remarkable achievements by a group of Toronto high school students were celebrated today.
4 students all scored a 100% average across their top grade 12 courses. Their incredible accomplishment was marked this morning at the head office of the Toronto District School Board. Andrew Peng, Sheena Kin, Somya Ramanan, and Sophia Vora-Bangi were all recognized for their academic excellence. The scholars spoke about their plans for the future, what drives them beyond the classroom, and their journey to the top.
I guess the most surprising thing is how easy it was to get an average of 100%, since I walked into high school just seeing everyone say, oh, high school is very different from middle school, it's much harder. But I found that really, if you just try your best, if you just aren't afraid to ask questions, it's really not that difficult.
This was a pretty big surprise, actually. I didn't think I would get straight hundreds. I expected like high 99s, but not like a straight 100.
Don't really feel like you can't do anything, because I find that a lot of things, like, they're not as difficult as you make them out to be, right? Like, a lot of times I went into something feeling like really scared, like, oh, what if I'm going to do badly? But really, it's fine. Like, a lot of things are designed so that they're able to be done by high school students.
There's so many different things, and I think that's what makes it so unique, and that's what, talking to all of them and like meeting different people, that's what made me more interesting as a person, and I think that's what's really great about these communities.
The students say they are looking forward to university and exploring exciting career opportunities after that. Congratulations.
Coming up, a disappearance nearly 40 years ago has possibly been solved with the help of a group of divers. That's after the break. To the Ottawa area now, where the town of Carleton Place is at risk of running out of water.
Officials say the water system is at risk in event of an emergency. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
Ken Van Ray rolling up the hose, doing what he can to limit his water usage.
Generally, just try and conserve water, so when they let us know, we turn off all the sprinklers.
Carleton Place urging residents to refrain from their outdoor water consumption to ensure the town has enough water in case of an emergency. Watering lawns, washing cars, hosing down sidewalks and driveways limited until September 30th, especially in July when the temperatures warm up and residents engage in more outdoor watering. Residents say this is a reoccurring issue.
It's basically how it's been for my entire life. I've lived in Carleton Place my whole life. It's been kind of a thing that just is a fact of life here.
The town color-coded water demand status is currently in the red category at its limit. The dirt is dry and the grass is coarse. The municipality says that they are doing their part in restricting its own water use and not watering municipal lawns and gardens. Toby Randall, mayor of Carleton Place, says in a Facebook post, the reason for the request is because strain on the system endangers the ability of our fire department to potentially fight fires due to lack of water pressure in our system. Guy Legault, trimming his shrubs, refraining from watering them, says even the town's Mississippi River is feeling the effects.
The river's been the lowest we've ever seen, and the rocks are all sticking through. If you go down to one of the 2 or 3 bridges we have, you'll see that all of the stones are protruding and there's hardly any water flowing there.
However, the municipality says watering using a hand nozzle or watering can is permitted.
We go around with a little watering bucket and do our flowers, but as for the lawns, you can't water.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
More than 5 million pools sold between Canada and the U.S. have been recalled following reports of 9 deaths in the U.S. The recall points to the compression straps on the side of these pools, which could make a foothold for small children to access the water. Now, the recall covers a range of Polygroup Intex Recreation and Best Way pools that were sold as far back as 2002. You can get more details on the pools affected on the recall on our website, ctvnewstoronto.ca.
Dozens of motorcyclists are rolling into Toronto today as the only Canadian stop on the North American Holocaust Museum Tour. The tour is traveling across North America with stops at Holocaust museums along the way. It is in conjunction with the Ride to Remember, which is now in its 20th year. At each stop, a special piece of art, the Circle of Chai, representing the Jewish people's struggles to survive, is passed from one riding club to the next, ending in Washington, D.C.
We are visiting 21 museums in North America, one in Canada, and we're about to go there in 45 minutes to make a presentation of a very special trophy, because this is an Olympic-style relay. We go from one city to the next.
This Circle of High would have traveled, like at the end of the tour, 10,000 miles. Now we are at 8,900 miles.
After nearly 40 years, a missing persons case in Laval, Quebec has been solved.
It took a group of divers who are part of a nonprofit organization less than an hour to do it. CTV's Swida Rassi has the details.
The family of Robert St. Louis is watching as his Jeep Cherokee will soon get pulled out of the Mille-Île River in De Montagne.
We're able to confirm that the vehicle that is down the river is linked to the missing investigation.
The Laval man, who was in his 40s, went missing in 1988. Police say they found remains inside his car.
Some remains have been removed. We still have to send them to the lab to have them tested for DNA and make sure it match.
American diver William McIntosh from Exploring with the Mission says he was contacted by St. Louis' daughter a few days ago. She wanted help finding her father, who disappeared without a trace. McIntosh and his team gathered as much information as they could. He knew that St. Louis couldn't have gone far.
He had no gas in the car. He had no key for the gas tank. He had no money in his pocket.
Using sonar, the team searched the river near his house.
35 minutes of searching all the way down to the thing, came around the corner, 5 minutes, and then within 5 minutes we picked it up.
What they picked up were images of his car, submerged underwater. A 37-year-old cold case solved in less than an hour.
You know, it always still brings a tear to everyone's eye.
The group also solved another cold case 10 days ago in another region of Quebec using the same technique. Advocate Stéphane Luce has been following the case closely.
There's something to learn, like reading the ultrasounds is something that is very important.
But for investigators, the work doesn't end there. Police have uncovered around 10 cars in the area.
We're going to go one by one and take them out of the river and try to find out if we can link them to anything.
As for the case of St. Louis, police say there are no signs of foul play. But for the family, they now have some closure. The question they had for nearly 40 years has finally been answered. Swida Rassi, CTV News.
Still to come this hour, concerns that 3,000 auto manufacturing jobs in Brampton could be at risk if the tariff fight with the U.S. drags on. That story just after the break.
Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
To concerns now that 3,000 auto manufacturing jobs could be on the line if the trade war with the U.S. drags on.
The tariffs have taken a major toll on Stellantis, which put a retooling of the Brampton plant on hold earlier this year. CTV's John Valley Rao has the story.
Since last year, this Stellantis auto plant in Brampton, Ontario, has been shut down for retooling that was paused back in February and is yet to resume. And now, with word of the company's financial losses, in part related to tariffs, the workers are understandably worried.
Emotionally, it's very hard because there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, we got 3,000 members in that Brampton assembly plant, 1,000+ members that supply that plant and the parts supplier base.
Stellantis, which is known for brands like Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, and Fiat, reporting that the U.S. president's auto tariffs have so far cost the company $480 million Canadian as it cut vehicle shipments and some production. And the chief financial officer says the full-year tariff impact could be as much as $2.4 billion.
It won't help them, that's for sure. And Stellantis is already in a decent spot of trouble. They've run into all kinds of issues, particularly in the North American market.
The company has been struggling with slow sales and restructuring costs, and a new CEO was brought in 2 months ago after the previous one resigned under pressure. At Stellantis' Windsor, Ontario plant, operations were shut down for several weeks earlier this year, and workers were supposed to return to the Brampton plant by the end of this year, but the retooling remains on hold. Still, Stellantis continues to say it does not change our previously announced investment plans for Brampton.
A world with tariffs is unacceptable for us. A world with tariffs puts our plant in a vulnerable position, even more so than it is now. And not only for our plant, but all of Southern Ontario and the whole auto industry.
And despite that hefty tariff cost, the union rep remains confident the Brampton plant will make vehicles again, although when is not clear. John Venavalle-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, General Motors' second quarter core profit fell by 32%. The auto giant says U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs took more than $1 billion out of its earnings in the quarter. The decrease occurred despite strong sales in the first half of this year. GM and other automakers saw a surge in demand this spring from consumers who wanted to beat the tariffs.
Pharmacists in Ontario are navigating a national painkiller shortage.
CTV's Travis Fortnum has the story from Windsor.
It's a go-to painkiller. Oxycodone combines oxycodone and acetaminophen into one pill. For many people, it's what keeps their pain in check. But right now, it's getting hard to come by. Health Canada warning of a national shortage, and pharmacists like Tim Brady are feeling the pressure.
It's scary. If you've been stabilized, you have chronic pain, you found medications that are working for you, then all of a sudden you come to the pharmacy and say we have none. You don't want to go back into that situation again.
A manufacturing issue combined with rising demand has triggered a supply crunch with no full doses left. Brady's making tough calls, limiting refills, splitting doses, and trying to help as many customers as possible with what little stock remains.
We're basically out now. We're hoping that we'll get some in again soon. You're trying to limit people to like 30-day supplies instead of 3 months, trying to make sure we can, spread it around so everybody gets some.
The warning from Health Canada came in mid-July, but pharmacists like Brady say the squeeze started weeks before that as shelves slowly emptied. At Windsor Regional Hospital, staff saw it coming too and started planning early.
We look at our stock levels, then we'll determine basically a date of when we anticipate that we're going to run out, and then we'll start working on a plan. We're going to start to restrict it to those patients and use alternatives for other patients.
Drug shortages are nothing new. Canada sees hundreds of them every year, but it is rare for such a common pill to be impacted. Experts say the global supply chain is fragile, and even a small hiccup can cause a big problem.
For one pill to end up in your vial, it probably has ingredients from multiple countries. It's gone through maybe 8, 9 different factories. And so if something along that chain happens, you start to see a domino effect.
Health Canada says it's working with manufacturers to manage the shortage, calling drug access a top priority. Supply could return in the coming weeks.
When you have a drug that what we call is a fast mover, it's a commonly used medication, you also have people who are newly starting on it, but you have some patients who are on it for a long period of time. You're faced with a scenario where you have to make tough choices.
Brady says his team is doing everything they can, but the best thing customers can do is check in early and be patient.
It's not that we're trying to deny you the medications. We're not trying to make your life difficult. It's just we can't get any.
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
The Toronto International Film Festival continues to unveil its star-studded lineup.
Wait, you're telling me I have a budget guardian angel?
Kinda. I want to guide people. I want to change their lives.
Aziz Ansari's Good Fortune, starring Keanu Reeves, will be making its world premiere at TIFF. Dozens of other premieres were also announced today for the 50th anniversary of the festival. Information can be found online. Now, TIFF runs from September 4th to the 14th.
The entertainment world is still reeling from word that Malcolm Jamal Warner, best known for playing Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, died in an accidental drowning in Costa Rica.
Is this the shirt I paid $30 for? Is this the shirt they're supposed to think is a Gordon Gartrell? You don't like it? Ask me the question again.
A generation watched Warner grow up as the only son of the TV family. He was nominated for an Emmy and went on to star or be featured in other projects. Malcolm Jamal Warner was 54 years old. You're watching CTV News at noon. Stay with us.
A terrifying moment for a family's pet dog in the Philippines was caught on camera. And before you see the video, you should know the dog escaped unscathed. A massive boulder rolls from the mountainside and onto the driveway. The black Aspen sprinted to safety seconds before it crushed her metal cage and a parked car. Video shows her emerging from behind the massive rock and darting across the road. Now, the incident came as a deadly typhoon barreled through the Philippines and the region over the weekend. Hard to believe the dog managed to escape that, because you don't really see it in the shot. And then afterwards, oh, there it is.
It's so hard to watch, thank goodness.
And we've seen it a couple of times now. I'm still trying to figure it out. But
yeah.
Wow, a miracle.
Yeah.
And this weather, yeah, kind of miraculous, if you will. No, I'm just kidding. It's lovely out there today. Get outside and enjoy. We have heat and humidity that's going to be returning in a big way. So here's one more look at what we're dealing with. Satellite and radar is quiet. Overnight tonight, our forecast low is 16 degrees. Tomorrow, 28 degrees. Will feel more like 33. Lots of sunshine out there, too. And here's one more look at the 7-day forecast. Thursday is a scorcher. Natalie and Nathan.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. And that is CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thank you for watching. I'm Natalie Johnson.
And I'm Nathan Dowd. And be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6. Have a great afternoon.